Yes.
But we started with the lower tier.
Yes.
Okay.
That was 2 weeks ago. And then the Premier League is starting, that is tomorrow. Yes.
Lower tier here means division.
Division 2, that is men.
Yeah.
Division 1 women.
Yeah.
And Division 1 men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now the top tier league starting tomorrow.
Yes.
Before it starts tomorrow, it was supposed to start in January, then February 4th, then now tomorrow. What occasion the postponements?
It was supposed to start, yes, January 24th.
Yeah.
However, we had a potential sponsor who wanted to come on board.
Yeah.
And since we were still in discussions with them,
Yeah.
as well as with the clubs,
Yeah.
because some of the clauses that they had in their agreement
Yeah.
would involve and really affect the clubs. So we
Yeah.
thought it was important, in the spirit of sportsmanship, transparency,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that the clubs needed to know first and agree to some of those terms before we kicked off. So they had requested for more time. So we had pushed the league to February 6th,
Yeah.
hoping that by February 6th we will have agreed
Yeah.
on some of those contentious issues. But by February 6th,
Yeah.
when we realized around February 4th that the discussions were not really progressing,
Yeah.
tukasema we can't continue holding players, fans,
Yeah.
everybody, stakeholders,
Yeah.
as we wait for them. So we
Yeah.
decided as the executive board that we will let the league start
Okay.
this coming week, tomorrow,
Yeah.
as you know, as we continue with the discussions
Yeah.
with them and other potential partners.
Yeah.
But since then, anyway, they also decided to terminate the discussion. So we are now just rolling out as we continue to look for other sponsors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there other sponsors that have shown interest maybe now?
Yes, we have quite a number of potentials that are there. I don't want to name names
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
because discussions are still going on.
Yeah.
Given the fact that the other agreement has it's less than a week since it was terminated, so these discussions are still going on, but we should be able to unveil quite a number of sponsors. I think we have maybe about 3 to 4 that we have progressed really well with. Yeah.
So that means the other one, discussions are now done and dusted. It could be resuscitated.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. It's only that the dates that given us we start the league was with our teams.
Yeah.
They felt like they wanted to start the league, so they wanted us to start the league in March.
Yeah.
That is around 6th,
Yeah.
and then the teams were not comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to come up with a decision. And when we came with this decision, they said, "Okay, fine, just go on." But at the moment, or let us just stay aside, and then they might come back. And, we are sure they will.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
So it's open.
It's open.
Still
Yes,
open.
it's still open. We are not saying we're locking out anybody.
Yeah.
We're not locking them out also. It's still open as long as the obviously the agreements are okay with and in line, obviously, with our constitution, with the clubs, with the stakeholders, because at the end of the day, it's not just about us as the executive, but it's about the game of basketball.
Yes.
So we have to put the game before anything else.
Yeah.
So we have to keep looking at what is it that is good for the game. Yes.
Looking at the brand basketball Kenya, I'm a Kenyan basketball. How good a brand is it that could attract corporates?
How good a brand is it?
From where you see it.
wow. Everybody would say their brand is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's a definitely it's a good brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is growing.
Yeah.
There could have been a little bit of stagnation.
Yeah.
Maybe in prior years, but it is definitely growing, and the projection and the progression is very, very high.
Yeah.
So I would say that right now
Yeah.
we are on a really upward projection.
Sure.
Yeah.
You see the number of teams, our league has grown. We are now 77 teams
Yeah.
from, I think, one of the biggest leagues in Africa.
Yeah,
In
sure.
actual sense,
Yeah.
I think we're the second biggest, if not the biggest league
Yeah.
right now in Africa that's run by the federation.
Mm.
So it's growing in terms of the league.
Yeah.
If you look at in terms of our international competitions
Yeah.
and what we have offered also to our fans
Yeah.
at international level in Kenya, the last 2 years have really been quite impressive.
Mm.
But also on the international scene, we are doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe 5-on-5, we still have some work to do. Our 3x3 teams, I'm sure you saw and you're aware that now both our men and
Yeah.
women's teams
Yeah.
have qualified for Commonwealth. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's on an upward projection,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms now of matters, venues, because it's something that me complain. I've seen fans, even clubs, because some fixtures itakuwa postponed. Maybe a venue wasn't available.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we have a limited venues. We have Nyayo and we have Kasarani. I don't know what as a federation is it one of the challenges that as a federation you are going through in terms of just venues to host the matches.
It is a
Yeah.
those are challenges that what you see now. The problem is that us guys, we don't own any venue as a federation.
Yeah.
So we need to go out and at least talk to the people who have these venues. Some of them are leasing them. I mean, they're charging us. Like Kasarani,
Yeah.
Nyayo is being owned by Sports Kenya.
Sports
Yeah.
Kenya, yes.
So anytime we need to use it,
Yeah.
we need to request,
Yeah.
do some payments, and at the same time, we are not the only people using the gym at basketball.
Mm.
It's being used by other teams like volleyball,
There's volleyball,
handball,
yes.
and you know indoor games.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge, and being that basketball is an indoor game, we have very few indoor games. I mean,
Yeah.
indoor arenas where we can access. So it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we need to just do with what we have and share what we have. That's
Yeah.
why at times you find that some games postponed and things like that.
Mm.
Yeah. So venue is a challenge,
Yeah.
especially during any season, especially when we have these outdoor games.
Mm.
I'm really worried. We are really worried as April is coming,
Yeah.
and we don't know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're just praying that we have these games
Yeah.
go as per schedule.
Yeah. And in terms of fixtures, really, there's something that maybe the people working in the media struggle with is getting the fixtures for the basketball games. How easy is what are you guys putting in place to make sure that these fixtures are always available? Because, like, let me give an example. In football, we know that the league starts this time. We know the fixtures from the start to the end. I don't know what you guys are doing to make sure that we have fixtures for the rest of the season.
If I may, this season we, as the federation,
Yeah.
we did talk to the managers, the team managers,
Yeah.
and we had agreed that we're going to release the fixtures for the first leg,
Yes.
and there will be no more changes.
Yeah.
So once you fixtures have been released,
Yeah.
unless maybe there's something which has really, make the team cannot play.
Yeah.
And then that one we can look into it. But we've agreed that fixtures are released
Yeah.
for the entire season,
Yeah.
so that everybody has to follow the fixtures to the latter.
Mm.
At the same time, when you talk about the media, okay, we have a page for the media, and once we get these fixtures, once the fixtures out, they're posted on that wall.
Yeah.
So everybody has that fixtures, especially for the media houses. Yes.
What occasions the changes? The changes.
Just to enhance on what he said,
Yeah.
one of the other things, we are really trying to make sure that we can get all media on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the challenges we had previously was also that we were not communicating directly with some of the media houses. So you'd get some people have the fixtures and
Yeah.
others don't.
Yeah.
So we are making a lot of effort and
Yeah.
putting in a lot of effort to
Yeah.
get that. We're also in the process of finalizing a portal that we can be asking people to just go to and be able
Yeah.
to see all the
Yeah.
fixtures. So once we finalize that digital space, it's something we started 2 years ago, and then there was a breakdown somewhere in terms of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So, but we are getting back into that space right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's very important, so that when
Yeah.
the season starts, everybody, a basketball fan, knows that this weekend these are the games that are coming up. Let me go and watch, and I select which one they are going to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm very curious, as Madam SG, that is Angela,
Yes.
just as a federation, what is your vision maybe for the league, for the basketball league?
For us is to obviously, I've said we're one of the biggest leagues in Africa.
Yeah.
We want to now go quality, and is to make sure that we now start professionalizing the league.
Yeah.
We have already started having those thoughts. We have already communicated the same, especially to the Premier League teams,
Yeah.
so that come next season we can start professionalizing part of the league slowly.
Yeah.
And this means that we have teams that are managed professionally,
Yes.
that are paying players.
Contracts.
Yes, contracts.
Yes, okay.
Where we can see that players are able now to start earning from the game and from their talent.
Yeah.
So for us, that is what we would love to see, because we would love a situation where it's a win-win for everyone in the basketball ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's not just about people coming to play, because at some point, playing and loving the game is not enough.
Yeah.
We need to start making people everybody
Yeah.
to earn
To
from
earn,
the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for us, that's the vision: professionalizing the league and making it better, making it bigger, building a culture of basketball in the country,
Yeah.
where people can be able to follow basketball naturally, because of what they see and the quality that they see,
Yeah.
and the brand that they see is Basketball League in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the role of counties, by the way, in terms of helping nurture or grow basketball more so? Because when you could be wrong, but when you hear basketball, maybe it's only concentrated within Nairobi. What's the role of other counties across the country in helping us grow the sport?
We have county leagues.
Yeah.
And in fact, Nairobi, especially Nairobi has about 30 teams. Mombasa has about 25. That is men. We are talking about men. And Kisumu also, they have leagues. So these leagues which are in the National Basketball League usually get their players mostly from the county leagues. Yes. So in the counties, at least they're running tournaments, they're running leagues and all that. So most of the players, where they cannot fit, they usually play at the county, or maybe they cannot be where the leagues, that is in Nairobi, they do take part in those county leagues.
Yeah.
Are you, as a federation, are you the ones who give them capacity building, or what kind of support do you give them at the county level?
Mostly, we usually go down there, we send coaches to train the coaches, and we ensure even referees. And we work together because anything they do there, we have to be aware of what they're doing, especially to make basketball grow. So we are we are one, and they're working together as a team. Yes.
And remember, the county leagues dovetail into the national league, because at the end of the county leagues there is the county national playoffs that we usually have, and the team that wins in that county national playoffs is the team that gets promoted into either the division 1 women or the division 2 men. So there's that opportunity for counties to be able to get their teams to play in the national league, and we try as much as possible to encourage that. Where there's, for example, Latai, we try as much as possible to look at having regional balance and ensuring that we can be able to give more support, more visibility to the counties that are out of Nairobi, as much as possible, so that we're giving those players a platform also.
Yeah. And something Joseph just has alluded to in terms of coaches, because as you try again as a federation to professionalize the league, you need professionals around the sport. You need referees, you need top coaches. I don't know, are there some programs running that are for coaches?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we've had quite a number of programs that are running for coaches. We've requested, since last year, we requested FIBA for a FIBA level 1 certification. They responded sometime early this year because they've put a new process in place, but we have had many coaching clinics, not only the FIBA ones. We've also had opportunities where like the other day we had 6 of our coaches who graduated from the elite program that had been organized by the University of Nairobi and the National Olympic Committee of Kenya for diploma certificates in just towards the end of January. A course that had run for 1 year. We sent coaches there. In December we had 3 of our coaches who got FIBA level 2 certification. They went to Uganda to get that. And actually those were the largest numbers. Even the one for the UON basketball had the largest number of 6 coaches who graduated. So we are encouraging our coaches to be on the lookout for all of these coaching opportunities that are coming up, so that then they can be able to join in. There's a bit of work we have to do with the Coaches Commission in terms of grading local coaches, so that then we can be able to understand the different levels that the different coaches are in, so that it can guide us towards what gaps we have, and so we can be able to send a number of coaches. We've also had a number, I think 1 or 2 coaches last year who went to the US on NBA programs to get exposure and to coach together with NBA teams for a period of time. So we are looking at that space in a very serious way, and we are also focusing on the younger coaches getting more exposure. Yes,
and just sticking to that, of course, I'm very curious, is there an increase of the number of women coaches yes, in terms of applying and participating? Yes, because from the elite one, I think I saw 2 women, 2 or 3 women from the graduates.
The UN one. Yes, there were actually 2 coaches, 2 women and 4 male. Even the level 1, level 2, we had 2 male and 1 female. We try to be very deliberate when this is happening. So even when we are looking at when we are sent for the list of nominees, we try as much as possible to balance out and make sure that there's at least a female coach.
And also we have an advantage, of course. We have 2 FIBA certified coaches. We usually handle our training with the coaches, and in fact they are there and they're ready to do it even free. So we have that advantage. As long as we give them our program, they call them, and then we are ready to go.
Yes. It's now 1 minute after 12. Let's get sporty updates, then we continue the conversation here in regards to basketball.
Look out! Home run!
Top story hits, no misses. The Sporty Update on SportyFM.
Ukraine has announced that its public officials will boycott the Paralympic Winter Games after the International Paralympic Committee allowed Russia and Belarusian athletes to compete under the national flags. Kyiv has also urged the other nations to shun the March 6 opening in Verona, condemning the decision as morally and politically wrong amid Russia's ongoing war.
Yes, and Kenya will field a formidable 3,000 meters team at the Hearts de France indoor meeting today with a trio of world-class athletes aiming to stamp the authority as the season gathers pace. The charge will be led by Jacob Krop, the 2022 World 5,000 meters silver medalist, alongside Franklin Kibet, the World Cross Country Under-20 champion, and Edwin Kurgat, the 2023 Boston 10-kilometer runner-up. Lady Captain Rhoda Mukami is set to exit in grand style as Ruiru Sports Club host a week-long Lady Captain's Prize culminating in February 28th.
shop is expected to attract more than 300 golfers. The tournament will mark the end of 2-year tenure, which has been credited with elevating the profile of women's and junior golf at the club.
Yes, and Trailblazers Volleyball Club will seek to build momentum when the Kenya Volleyball Federation's Men's National League resumes at Kasarani Indoor Arena from February 19th to 22nd, following a mixed opening leg that included straight sets win over champions GSU. Strengthened by the arrival of Malawian international Griffin Lwazi, the side opens the second leg against Kenya Forest Service before facing Eldoret Water as they pursue a maiden league title.
That is a Sporty Updates, 3 minutes after 12.
Look out! Home run!
Top story hits, no misses. The Sporty Update on SportyFM.
Yes, this is SportyFM. Of course, the show is The Breakpoint, and we are talking to Angela Luchivia, Secretary General of Kenya Basketball Federation, and Joseph Amoko, Competition Secretary at KBF. And earlier on, we were talking about coaches. Acha tuguzie referees, because many times because they are very key cog when it comes to making sure that sports has credibility, making sure that the sport runs well. I'm speaking this from a football perspective, where refereeing has always been a very big issue. I don't know what you guys are doing to keep your referees up to the current situation, what's happening in the world of basketball at the moment, their retraining and retraining levels, so that their decision don't affect the outcomes of the different basketball matches in the country. Amoko, I'm a secretary.
Okay. I think when you just talked, because I was once a referee.
Yeah.
International referee, you just retired.
Yeah.
I believe these days at least we have quite a number of referees, and the person in charge also is a FIBA and certified referee.
Yeah.
And he keeps on traveling a lot, especially during these ball games. And he's the one who's in charge. I think he's a supervisor on all these games. So what he gets there, he usually brings it back home.
Yeah.
Right now, as I'm talking, we don't have a problem with referees because we have quality referees.
Yes.
And after every 2 months, they usually have clinics. And in fact, before we started the league, there were several clinics which were taking place all over the counties. And as at yesterday, I was being told that even when we were requesting for the referees, we were told that they're enough. They're more than enough. So some of them might even get chance for officiating our league matches.
Yeah.
So I believe that we have qualified referees for running our games, where we won't have any conflicts and all that. So
absolutely,
we have enough in terms of even ladies.
Yeah.
We have enough. We have very, very perfect ladies who can even handle these top matches. Even any day. Yes.
And just to add on that, we actually also now have 4 international FIBA certified referees, 2 male and 2 female, who get opportunities to go out and referee in international as well as continental championships. And last year we also, and even up till into this year, we have increased the technical capacity, not just for referees, because the table officials is also very critical, because they're the ones who do the timekeeping, who make sure that the scores are input correctly, etc. And with that, we've also had quite a number of trainings for them. Even now, there's trainings that are going on a weekly basis online for the table officials, as well as for the statisticians. So we also had an opportunity last year to bring in someone from FIBA to come and do proper training for both the table officials and the statisticians. And there was quite a number of them who showed interest, and we've registered more than about 50 or so table officials to the FIBA portal. So we are hoping that with that there can be some trickling down of good officiating standards in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot of investments that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't get to talk about it too much because you can't go talking about. We have sent these guys are doing a coaching course here and there, but we are putting quite a bit of investment in that, just in preparation for the professionalization that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, I just want to tackle two things at one. In terms of course, fans are a big stakeholder in any sport. I don't know, maybe because I know mainly it's the role of clubs to try and attract fans and bring in new fans. But I'm also very curious, as a federation, is there any strategies maybe to put on to attract fans, those casual watchers, or those unajua kuna casual watchers, kuna wale wanaonanga tu NBA peke yake, and they don't know Kenya tuko na ligi yetu pia ya basketball. So I don't know if there are some of the strategies that as a federation you have to just attract those fans, bring them pale Nyayo under the lights to come and watch a basketball match.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the things that there's quite a number of things that we are putting in place and that we have been putting in place consistently since last year. One is visibility, obviously, and driving awareness. So we have been going on awareness drives, trying as much as possible to put as much information as we can out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as much as we would love to, but it's a journey. It's a journey, and we keep trying to make improvements every other day. So it's driving that top of mind awareness, driving that using both social media, print media, also by giving out information, and trying as much as possible to share as much information about our league as we can. Then obviously it's towards match days is building that hype towards the games. We are also trying to come up with different ways of driving the basketball culture. Last year we saw how Friday night basketball was doing quite well, and some Saturday night basketball. So it's something that we would want to continue, because we want to build that culture. Because people come sometimes to watch games or to watch a sport or to do something because of the culture that that is there. And so we are trying to build that culture also, so that we can attract more people into the game. And then from there we will now, once we start getting more sponsors coming in, we start trying to look at the element of more activation and the experiential that will come with just being in the venue. Because again, people go to not really to watch NBA because they are going to watch Lakers versus another team, but also because of the experience that they are going to get from there, and the culture that this thing is all about. So that's what we are trying to build. Now sometimes building experience can also be a bit difficult with the kind of venues that we have, because when you look at Nyayo Stadium, it's really restrictive in the kind of experience, activation, and what we would want to do. So we in our discussions with some of the sponsors, it's some of the things we're looking at the potential sponsors. It's the things we're trying to look at, how we can be able to manage within the spaces that we have. Within the spaces that we have. We know Kasarani would be a good venue to have, because there's so much space to build an activation, to have an experiential and to have that experience. But those are the things that we are looking at now, to move the game from just being about watching the game to what you really experience when you come into Nyayo. Or when you come into our league games.
Absolutely. One of the ways also to maybe grow the sport is maybe broadcasting the matches. Is there a possibility, or do you guys have a broadcast partner? Might not be a mainstream media house, could be maybe digital spaces, but also I think mainstream media could also be big because wider reach. Do you guys have that in mind?
Yes, we do. We part of the agreement that we had with the potential sponsor was on the live streaming of matches. But with that gone away, we have had actually 3 potential broadcasters who
Yeah.
would want to come on board.
Yeah.
Conversations have just begun, given the fact that the other guys left. So we are hoping that these conversations will lead into fruition, so that then we can be able to have the games. But in the event that even that does not work out, we have quite a number of other smaller digital space content creators who are interested, and so we are also not shoving that aside, but we are putting it, we would like to see how all of these people can be able to work together in the spaces so that we get as much value as we can out of all this.
Yeah, and in terms, I just want to ask Joseph, in terms of competitions now, in the top tier league, we have the league. Are there any other competitions that these teams participate in?
We have tournaments, just within amongst ourselves. That is, we have there's Madaraka Day, we have Jamhuri, Labor Day, and just within the country. And once the team has qualified, that is the top tier. The winners usually represent the country in FIBA organized tournaments. Yes, so if you qualify, like last year we had Thunder and KPA, who represented in BAL. KPA and ZTEC represented that is Africa Women Club Championship. So when you win a champion, the league, when you win the league, there is a representation in the FIBA tournament. Yes. So that is where we usually take our top winners. Yes.
You mentioned Nairobi City Thunder, KP, and of course ZTEC. I was just interested to know the kind of support these teams that get to represent the country and of course the federation outside the country in those tournaments like BAL and of course other FIBA organized tournaments. What kind of support do you give them when they go out there to represent the flag?
From a federation point of view, or from a country point of view? From a federation point of view, I wouldn't say there's extreme big support that we give them, but what we try to do is we try to ensure first of all that in terms of all the administrative work that goes before their participation is done in good time. We assist them sometimes to do scouting by making sure that there's been instances where they would like a player to come in and probably they want to get more information or data about that player. And in those cases, we try to assist as much as possible to source for statistics, for information about the player, even sometimes for contacts of the players, and sometimes even to get in touch with the partner federation in another country so that then they can be able to link them up so that they can be able to get players when they want to boost up their teams. We also try to just help them with arranging obviously friendlies once in a while. But more of the support is usually club based, because when it's at club level, then it really becomes it's a bit restrictive in terms of how the federation can come in. However, we also ensure that they're accompanied by a federation official, and this is basically to make sure that there are no issues on the other side that happen, even as and in the event there are any issues, then they're picked up at the federation and addressed immediately together with the FIBA officials, because sometimes you find when teams travel and they don't have any backup support from the federation, then you find that when they have issues out there, there's nobody, and they cannot approach FIBA to tell FIBA that we need this this or we want this. So we've always found it important that there is a federation person who is always accompanying them, so that they can be able to address any issues on the ground with the FIBA officials and with the host federation, so that everything runs smoothly for them, and so that the team can be able to really concentrate on the championship, so that all administrative matters, liaison matters, issues to do with registration, fixtures when they're out there, pooling or pools or any of that is handled by the federation on our side. So that's the reason we always try to make sure that we give them that support. And for some of the like Nairobi City Thunder, we try as much as possible to assist them also, like with getting funding from the Ministry of Sports, just to try and see if they can be able to boost up their budget, so that they can get the right players to go and play out there. But even us hosting in Kenya, especially when we host in Kenya for the qualifiers, this is really not yes, it's for our fans and for our stakeholders, but it's also for us to boost up the teams to get the home court advantage, to move to the next level. So taking up that responsibility of hosting the games in Kenya is really, for us, it's the strategy to make sure they have the home court advantage to take them to the next level. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. And just as you said, the league has begun. I want you just to tell the fans what to expect this season. Wakuje study what to expect. Both of you can share.
For sure, we are starting the Premier League tomorrow. We'll ensure that the leagues are go as per the fixtures, and if at all there will be changes, will be informed, and will be given a reason why these changes are done, so that everybody plans for the whole season. And when you're even coming with the family to come and watch games, you don't come to a situation where when you reach at the gate there, you're being told that this game has been postponed. We'll ensure that fixtures are being followed to the latter. Yes.
And for not for the entire season, but let's talk about for tomorrow, now that the league is starting. A fan who wants to come, wanaingia for free ama wanalipa, na ni how much?
There's payment.
That's very important.
There's payment. Regular season, we're going to charge. Regular seats, we're going to charge 200 shillings. VIP 500, and the VVIP is 1,000 shillings. Yes.
And that's a very important part for fans to know.
Wajipange.
Asifike kwa mlango ambiwe, anajua pengine anajua ni free. Kuje ambiwe ilikuwa ni punch. So that's very important. Let's talk about competitive nature of the league. You guys have mentioned KPA. You have also mentioned Nairobi City Thunder. It seems that for them their trajectory is upward. What do you think the federation, Unyika Federation, mnafanya nini so that at least this competition, that these other two get proper competition? Because even basketball lovers want to see competition. They don't want to see. It's good Nairobi City Thunder are doing their thing, KPA are doing their thing, but we also need to see these other ones pia wanakuwa elevated.
My take is that when you're in the Premier League, you're a good side. And we should not say that KPA or maybe Thunder, they're the ones who are top there, because even last season we had those top tiers. They lost some games to these lower. These too low. The teams which they think they're low down there. Because teams train, and when they come there to win. And once you're in the Premier League, we take you to be as one of the top teams in Kenya Basketball Federation. Yes, so there's no any team we are taking lightly. All the teams, the ones we in the Premier League, they belong there. So those games they are playing, those are top notch. Whether Anu is playing Terra, whether Terra is playing Thunder, those are top matches. Yes.
Absolutely. And let's get into transparency and governance. Because there's someone here because we are live on Facebook, by the way, and anaitwa Steward Okumuwadhi. Amuuliza swali, when is the election?
The elections will be held as soon as we finalize a court process that has been going on. And I'm happy to say that yesterday there was an tribunal hearing, mention of the case, and together with the registrar and the person and the claimant who are taking us to court, we are supposed to present a consent which will also have a proposal on the dates for elections to the registrar on February 26th. After that, we should go back to the SDT on March 3rd, so that then we can be able to be allowed to proceed with the process of elections. The federation is ready, but someone somewhere decided to take us to the SDT, and so we have to be done with the court process before we can proceed on to elections. But we are ready as the federation to hold elections as soon as that process is over.
Now naitwa Steward. I was really concerned about that. Now I hope that answers his concerns, really. And there's this concern we had here with the chair in terms of prize money at the end of the season. At the end of this, these teams are participating in the league in and let's say a year, 9 months. After 9 months, the winner and the rest of the pack, what do they get? I know you mentioned that you're talking to partners to come in and support. Maybe that's the one way of getting, but what is the plan for prize money for the teams, maybe eventual winners, and how that money goes down trickles down to the rest of the teams?
I think right now the league has basically been running on the league fees that we collect, which is not even enough. If you look at total running of the league, give or take, would be about 15 million. We only get about 5 million from the teams, and that is if all teams pay up. We have quite a number of community teams and self-sponsored teams that also don't pay. So you'll get at the end of the year, give or take, we get from teams 3.8 million, and then when you get collection with it, it probably comes to about another maybe 2 million at most for the whole season. For the whole season if we consolidate it, which means we are getting about 6.8 versus really something beyond 10 million that we actually need to run the league. So we've always had shortages when it comes to funding to be able to give that prize money, and that's one of the challenges we've had. If we get some sponsors coming on board, we are hoping that we can be able, one, to get fast, to be able to cover the deficit of running the league, because every year we are somehow carrying over some deficit and some debts, which we then, when the next season starts, we are also trying to cover that, and it's been a cycle that's been going on and on. So once we get some sponsors on board, hopefully we'll be able to cover that deficit, and then after the deficit, then look at how much we can be able to give in terms of prize money. Because to be honest, running a basketball league is also quite expensive. When you look at, for example, football, you see in football, the home team is the one that pays for the venue. They're the ones that pay for the venue, pay for the ambulance, pay for the referees.
Referees
is paid by the federation. Sorry. But for us, we pay the home, we pay the venue, we pay the referees, we pay for everything else. Much as, yes, there's a league fee that the teams pay, but even when you look at that league fee, it's negligible in the scheme of the bigger picture.
So in short, as you've just talked about football, they get even funding from their mother body. As guys, we don't even get a single cent. So what we really depend on is the league fee, maybe, and that get correction. So it's a challenge, and it's not easy.
No wonder you guys want to spread your net wider so that you get more partners.
Yes.
And there's someone here on Facebook and I would really love to hear from you what you'd tell him. This is LeBron Jr. What would you tell LeBron Jr. who feels that the federation has failed basketball in Kenya?
Okay,
That's what he feels. That's
I
what
don't
he
know.
feels.
I don't know from which angle he's coming from.
Yes.
So maybe if he had been clearer,
Yeah.
I don't think we have failed.
Yeah.
And looking at the projection of basketball, I think basketball the last 3 years has grown the most in terms of projection wise, like I said, in terms of ranking, in terms of a lot of things that are happening that we can't even begin to quantify. But so I don't know from which angle he is talking about, because I think we're on an upward projection. Look at it from the fact that we have now under 16 teams participating in continental wise, participating regionally, continental wise, under 18 teams participating continental and region wise, under 21 teams participating in the 3 Extreme Nations League, under 23 participating in continental championships, and then our senior teams also participating continentally. So it's been very, very dynamic, and it's been very busy, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know from what angle he would be looking at that from. Maybe if he can tell us from which angle he feels that it's been a failure, then maybe we can be able to look at that specific area. Yes,
absolutely. I think LeBron James umesikia tutumie comment
LeBron. That is a proper fan.
Akona jina ya LeBron.
Yeah, that is a proper basketball fan.
Everybody knows LeBron.
But paka ujiite kwa Facebook. Huyo
like
he loves his basketball.
Is there anybody who doesn't know Eliud?
Yeah, that's a proper follower.
I think we wouldn't leave the conversation if we don't talk about the national team. Where are we with the national team in terms of the preparations, the games they are planning to play, the support they are getting from the federation? It's very important. We have heard from the club side. Now the national team.
Wow. On the national team, first of all, this year for the women, senior women, we don't have any championships. However, we are already beginning to look at a younger team that we can be able to build into next year, and we're already beginning to think about the recruits that would come for next year, because the next event for the senior women is actually next year. If we look at it from the men's perspective, we have the pre-qualifiers for AfroBasket coming up in August, and that's something that I know the coach and the players had been in discussions, and they're already trying to put in some preparations that can build up into the August championship and the time that we will call for camp. However, we also try as much as possible to use the league, because when players are active and they are participating in the league as much as possible, then they get game ready and they are sharper, and obviously we are looking at their skills to be able to pick out from there. On the 3x3 side, we are already beginning to look at also the players who are in the correct ranking for both the Nations League under 21 and under 23, as well as the Commonwealth, because now we have to start looking at keenly to do the selection for the players who will be in the Commonwealth teams, both men and women, and then start preparations on our own, even as we wait for the government and the Olympic and the NOC camps to start. So that's something it's an ongoing process. You can't stop and then wait and then begin. So we're already doing that. For the juniors, because this year we will be very busy also with the juniors, considering that we have both under 16 and under 18 championships at zonal level, even though the under 18 championship will be progressing onto the continental stage. We are already beginning to look at recruitment using the schools school games. So from the school games, then what happens is we build up to having a camp in April, and then having a camp, and then we enhance it, and then having another camp in August also, so that by that time we have a good indicator of the players that can be able, that should be called to the to the teams. So we are already in progress. I know it's the silent progress before everybody sees, you know, the behind the scenes progress, before people start seeing now the product of what is happening. Yes, but we give them as much support as we can within our means. Again, I'll have to say that, because for our national teams, again, I'm just I would say we don't have a sponsor for any of our national teams. So again, it goes back to, I talked about how our funding is very limited. It goes back to how can we manage within budget to be able to put to have camps in place, because to have a camp in place means you have to have money. So we try within our means. Sometimes we get good well-wishers who come on board and tell us, you know what, you can come and do your camp in this school or in this place, and with that then we are able to do a longer period camp. But that is what we would definitely want to do. Have a camp for a longer period, have the players in one place for a longer period, because then we'll be able to build team chemistry, we'll be able to get the right players in good time.
Absolutely.
And just what you've alluded, maybe to add on that, and my final question, in terms of just as a federation, are there any grassroots programs? Because at the end of the day, in any sport, that is where we have to create a funnel. As you said, you've mentioned the under 20, under 16, eventually to the national team. So you as a federation, are there plans, or is there something going on in terms of just grassroots programs for basketball?
I think we don't particularly run those programs on our own. But we run in partnerships with the academies that we have across the country. So what we do is we try to support them with what we have and what we can. Sometimes we give them basketballs, sometimes we send coaches there to help with capacity building. Sometimes like locally we have given support the last 2 years to one of the academies that wanted to run an under 16 league. So together with them we gave them all the support that they needed to run that league, and with that league we were able also to be able to get some players and do some identification of talent. So we are giving more support to the academies, and also giving them autonomy sort of to run their programs. However, we have been registering them with us, so that we also get to know what it is they're doing, who is it that is running those programs, and how can we be able to support them. When it comes to over and above the little that we can be able to give them, we encourage them as much as possible to apply for the FIBA Foundation money that is there, and with that we give them the support letters that then go on towards being given either basketballs or equipment, and also some money that FIBA Foundation gives. I think last year we had about 6 academies in Kenya that got funding from FIBA Foundation, and we keep in touch even with those academies, just to be able to know how they're progressing, what they're doing. Because if you're given 100 basketballs, we would like to know, did you sell them or did you use them for the kids? I see on the FIBA Foundation, one of the projects that's actually been really applauded from Kenya is the Kakuma refugee program. Last year they got a funding, they got money, they also got basketballs, about 200 basketballs or 250 basketballs, and we keep in touch with the the project managers there, and they're running a very big program. I think they have more than almost 500 kids that they're impacting at the Kakuma camp.
The camp,
Refugee camp.
Yes. Tukimalizia, because naona time imesonga sana. As we finalize our conversation here, to you, Angela, what are those barriers you see that exist for the female players, that is in basketball, and also to the competition's boss? Now going, she mentioned Afro baskets. What will you guys be doing to make sure the national team is ready for the Afros if through the qualifiers? Because when it gets those levels, playing teams like Angola, Tunisia, those top nations when it comes to basketball in Africa, what preparation should be put in place for the national team to get to the levels of proper participating in Afro baskets? We're starting. Angela.
Okay.
The barriers.
Number one, obviously, is the stereotyping that comes with female, all the way from players into administration. That's always there, and that makes a lot of female players, female administrators to really be scared of stepping out, because sometimes everybody thinks it's just about the game. The men. For the women, is the game. In the game also, there's the aspect of visibility, and this I'm also throwing it back at you. How many times do you air highlights of women games? How many times? Out of the scheme of things, how many times do you call female players to the studio even to just talk about themselves? How many times are stories run about female players? What kind of visibility do we give the men players versus the female players? So for me, visibility comes as one of the barriers, and it's all the way from players into coaches, into administrators. So the other thing is access to opportunity, because sometimes when opportunities come, everybody tends to jump at the men before they jump to look at what about the ladies. That's why I when we were talking about coaches and referees earlier on, we said we have a deliberate effort that these days we do, that we are always looking at this is a male and this is a female. And how do we make sure that there's always that balance? So the access to opportunity is very critical for females, that is not being given. Those are my top two. Access to opportunity, the visibility, and then the last one, like I said, is just the stereotyping that makes women shy away from doing the things that they should be doing, as well as much as they're better than the men.
Yes. Absolutely. Tukimaliza on the Afro basket for the national team.
I believe that Afro basketball for the national team, the thing is that we need to get these players early enough. We put them in camp, and that is they have friendlies, more friendlies, and I believe that if once we get these people together, these players together for a longer period, I'm sure we'll go where we were, because initially we used to be top there. But I think also funding is an issue. Believe that once we sit down as the executive and identify these players and we get the coaches, we start early enough, not that waiting for the day when the championship is going to take place is when we choose a team. And that one is going to at least to make us move to the next level. And also we need also to get these young players also to ensure that they move, because initially we used to have players based outside the country, then we call them up, and but I believe that once we get these young players promoting them to the national team, and we start them locally here, I'm sure we'll achieve
absolutely
that goal.
Joseph Amoko, Competition Secretary of Kenya Basketball Federation, and of course Angela Luchivia, Secretary General of Kenya Basketball Federation. Asanteni sana kwa kukuja jamani.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Tumeshukuru sana.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes.
Tumeshukuru pia.
Yes. Please, tunataka tu fixtures.
You'll get the fixtures.
Yes, please.
You'll get the fixtures.
That hiyo itatusaidia sana, so that whenever we talk about the league, we always tell our listener that these are the games that are coming up.
And these are the results.
These are the results.
Yes.
Very, very important.
You will get that.
Absolutely.
It's now 41 minutes, and of course that was our conversation in regards to Kenya basketball season 2026-2027 with Angela Luchivia, the Secretary General of KBF, and of course Joseph Amoko, the Competition Secretary. We take a short break. When we come back, we have more on the Breakpoint.